Greetings, everyone. Welcome to my sketchbook. Here's a quick little update. You remember me talking about this thing, which is the Hot Wheels, but Mattel Dreammobile thing, and how I do have another version of it, which is this thing, which is a Hot Wheels color shifters. It's kind of unusual. Anyway, so yeah, I managed to find that. Let's set that off to one side and open up my inkwell. So in the last video, I drew kind of like my version of Buddy and Papa Elf. And I still didn't bother to look up Will Ferrell just to see how far off I am with that sort of a thing. But I don't know, I just kind of wanted to draw something for fun in the last video. But I think this time I'm going to do kind of like a close-up of the face, I think. And again, because I'm not looking at pictures of the actor, I'm just going to draw my own kind of version of what I think would be kind of funny. So it's not necessarily going to be Buddy. It's just going to be a really excited elf. I think that'll be kind of, I don't know. We'll see what pops out of my head here with this. So let's see if I can zoom in on this just a little bit. Ooh. If we have to fix it, we'll try to fix it. I like to try to start things off with the eyes. Now, I'll move that a little more center. Now, the bottom lids of the eyes are going to be slightly more prominent with this, I think. And the reason for that is I want there to be an almost welling up of the eyes, like so excited you could almost cry kind of thing. So that's why I have more of the underside of the eyes going here. But I do want these eyes to be like super excited. So they're going to be super wide. Now, you can see this kind of stuff happen from what I can recall from SpongeBob does like close-ups, and the old Ren and Stimpy show did close-ups too. So I think without getting too grotesque, that's kind of what I want to do in some ways, but I just want there to be like super excitement, which to me is one of the funniest parts of Elf, when you watch that movie. So we're going to go with some really exaggerated eyes too. We'll put the little glimmer reflection in a couple of spots. Just like that. And then I'm going to go with like a super wide pupil. Now, when somebody has a great appreciation for you, or they really need to soak up a lot of information about you, they often say that your pupils get wider. So that's what I'm doing here. This starry-eyed kind of thing going on. If you're familiar with the character Puss in Boots from DreamWorks and the Shrek movies, and of course the standalone movies, he was really good at doing this wide pupil thing. But I'm not going to go with maximum cuteness or anything like that. So those are like two super excited eyes, I hope. I may even go like just a little bit more exaggeration up here. And maybe we'll have a little scrunching of the nose, just a little bit, but not a lot. So let's say nose, right about here. I'm going to dip the pen. Just like that. And we're going to go for the widest possible smile here in a moment. Unfathomable, unfathomable joy. So we're going to go with a little bit of a wrinkling and twinkling of the eyes. I'm going to get these cheeks in my mind kind of rosy too, but we're going to go for as wide of a smile as possible, even wider than possible. How about that? Like, I don't think I could smile like this. Like, that's how wide of a smile we're going for. We're going to be able to see a little bit of a divot under the nose, let's say. And a little bit of the gums too. But we're going to go for large teeth. We'll get all the canines and incisors and all those teeth kind of lined up, but oh, maybe not too pointy. We're not a vampire. I'm going back and forth just to kind of make things a little more, not perfectly symmetrical, because people are not really symmetrical. So a smile so wide that it's wider than the upper row of teeth. Okay. I'm going to try to smooth out some of these just a little bit. You can see I turned my pen upside down just for fun detailing sake. I may revisit some of those after. Now, do we want to go with a wide open mouth with this kind of a joyful face? Well, let's move this up just a little bit first. We'll have the bottom row of teeth. Now, what kind of bottom row of teeth should we have? Be kind of a little bit of a variety of teeth down here. Now, elves kind of live on sugar, but I don't know what kind of dental plan they follow. They probably brush their teeth. I can't see why not. And let's go with just a slight amount of gums is, yes, just a little bit of gums. Interesting. And we'll curve in some of the lip just a little bit. Not too serious. Put a little bit of kind of shade underneath those outside corners just a little bit, because I'm going to kind of work into the chin here. Now, in some ways, I'm sure this kind of looks a little Joker-like. Not my intention. I guess I've drawn the Joker more than 3 times in my life, so it is possible that I might have a little bit of a Joker smile kind of going on there. Now, you'll hear me say this every so often. This kind of drawing isn't always typical, because not everyone likes to live with their mistakes. So I just think it's kind of fun to try to figure stuff out when I'm drawing with ink in my sketchbook. If I make a bit of a mistake, then I kind of have to live with it. And that to me is fun. Otherwise, I like to pre-pencil things, but very rarely do I do that in my sketchbook. This is where I let myself kind of make silly drawings. And for the most part, I just kind of live with it. Now, I'm going to sort of darken in some of the mouth here. Now I may get out brush and water, because I don't really do a lot of cross hatching. Which always looks really good if you're doing things in print. But I'm not doing this in print, I'm doing this in my sketchbook, so I can kind of do what I like. But I'm allowing myself to make as much detail as I feel like. So I'm not going that far. And also, when you're working on things, usually when you sketch stuff out, you want to see where things lay out, and you don't want there to be, well, if there's things in the background and in the front foreground, you don't really want things to get in the way of the character and stuff too. So that's another part of the pre-penciling kind of thing that you might do. I'm not going to go with the eyebrows too far up. I'm going to put just a little tiny tear, and only you guys would know that these are little tears of joy. Otherwise, people might just think that these are strange little dots on there, but we know better. going to take some sort of styling cues from Buddy in some way. Let's see. What else do I want to do with this face? There's a little bit of shade in here, I think. Make sure that the eye kind of closes in a little bit. Yeah. Now, in my mind, I'm going to hide his ears the same way as Buddy, but I'm going to put his earlobes roughly here. I'm going to try to keep them kind of even. All right. Now, how do I want his hair to be? I'm just going to work in some kind of curls. Now, it's funny, if I put in a large gap between the teeth here, this would look like kind of like David Letterman, I bet. It turns out David Letterman's a fantastic interviewer, especially with subjects that he's very familiar with. And by subjects, I mean the people that he interviews. But yes. Sometimes you'd watch The Late Show with David Letterman, and you can kind of tell that he's not really into whatever's going on, and that's kind of unfortunate. Like, you know, he may not be happy with the way somebody presents themselves on his show, and then the audience can very easily pick up on that too. I'm keeping his hair kind of light at the moment. I want there to be a decent amount of curl. I think that hides enough of the top of his ears. Now let's draw a hat. Now I'm thinking that his head is roughly about that wide there, so let's move this down just a little bit. Let the band be slightly wider than the hat, but we're not going to make the hat super high. So let's go with the band just about there. I don't know if I want to color this or not. I haven't determined that yet. Let's draw this feather. Feathers are fun to draw because they're like leaves in a way. You don't have to fill in all the veining though. Interesting. Now, the way his mouth is opened, he's probably going to have his shoulders hunched, probably right about here with excitement. So let's try to figure out what we want to do with the hands. I'm going to back this out a little bit, I think. See if I can get that to kind of focus a little bit. I'm going to move that up just a little too. And I'm just going to look at my own hand here for a moment. Okay. Let's try something like this. Now, I got kind of a funny curve going on here. Now, you've probably heard me say this before. I think most people, when they draw, they kind of keep references of themselves. You know, like off to one side, I have a mirror that I might make faces at, because that's fun. Let's try another fist over here. And yeah, let's see how this goes. Let's try. Again, just kind of looking at my own hands. Probably not going to see the thumb. I may try to work it in after, I don't know. And also, I will say this much, it's not typical of me to semi-finish things as I'm going. But with doing this in pen, well, I'm not really working off the sketch. I'm trying to live with a line, basically. So as I said, we'll probably have the shoulders a little bit higher, closer to the ears, and which means the collar is going to be up, so we're going to have the neck hidden as well. So let's put the shoulders in. And as far as the collar is concerned, let's try to work that. All right, so there are cuffs. And oh, actually, yeah. Before I get too far with that, which is possible to get too far, I want to figure out where I want elbows to be. So shoulders are there, arms, forearms, going roughly to there maybe, because these are going to be curved back a little bit, so they're going to be kind of shortened forearms, I think. These should be kind of curved a little bit. Add some texture to that with little wiggles. Although you don't get to hear me say this so often, thank you so much for subscribing. If you haven't already, I encourage you to, because that would be awesome. Also, you can like and subscribe. I know I said subscribe, but you can like, subscribe, and comment. And, you know, if there's something that you'd like to see me do my version of and maybe make a mistake with it just for fun and then get to see how I would kind of try to fix it, that would be kind of fun too. So as I said, we're dealing with a length of the arms that we're not going to get to see the full amount of. All right. Now, I'll let some of the clothing kind of work its way in. Now, I'll do kind of a little bit of an outline here. We're at 31 minutes of a slightly more detailed Buddy, similar Buddy elf, kind of making stuff up kind of thing. As I said, this isn't really meant to look like the actor. And I'm not sure if I'm going to bring out the brush and water or not. Don't know yet. Or maybe I'll make a part 2 or something like that. I don't know yet. Some of the stuff going on in this, from what I remember, it's like kind of like flowers, but possibly like a little more Nordic in some ways. And then kind of, but not really mimic what I just did on the other side. So not a perfect mirror, just a similar pattern. If it was all done by hand, for example, it'd be kind of tough to do. Although I'm doing this by hand, so I don't know what that means, why I said it that way. Okay. Well, I think that's going to be kind of it. I don't know if I need to go any further than that, just to get the idea out of my head. And maybe I will see this movie again this year. I thought about it. I don't know if I've seen it really even since the pandemic, so I probably haven't seen it in, 3 or 4 years. So just doing a little outline. And I'm going to leave it black and white, I think, for this one. And I don't know if you guys would like to see a little bit of color. Well, then just let me know. If that would be kind of fun, then maybe I will. Otherwise, I'll just turn the page in my sketchbook and think of something else that would be kind of fun to just play around with. This is definitely an elf that's super excited about Christmas. Oop, did you hear that in the background? That was my buddy Neville. Just kind of scratching in very light detail. All right. Well, I think that's it. Just looking at the hat one more time, and then I'll set down the pen. These little down wisps, those are fun to draw on feathers, I think. Okay, folks, that is it. I will call it quits. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, come back again. We'll do something kind of fun. All right. Ciao for now.